The shadows of the human mind are often more revealing than the light we choose to project. To understand the mechanics of influence is not just about gaining power, it is about reclaiming your own sovereignty in a world that constantly tries to steer your emotions. Today, we are diving into the visceral architecture of human transformation, how the most guarded parts of our psyche are dismantled and rebuilt by those who know which levers to pull. Imagine standing in a room full of people and realizing that you have the power to make the most important person in that room crave your validation above everyone else's, not through kindness but through a calculated void. The most potent way to bind someone to you is to make them compete for a ghost. By subtly introducing the idea that your attention is being diverted, perhaps to a nameless peer or a mysterious commitment, you trigger a primal survival mechanism, jealousy creation. It isn't about making them angry, it's about making them feel replaceable. When a human being feels their status is threatened, their brain enters a state of hyperfixation. They don't just want your time, they want to win it back. This shift in power is the first step in a complete psychological transformation, where their self-worth becomes tethered to your approval. Once you have captured their focus, you must control the flow of emotional oxygen. This is the art of withholding affection. In educational psychology, we understand this as a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, the same mechanism that makes gambling so addictive. If you are always kind, your kindness loses its market value. By intermittently withdrawing warmth without explanation, you force the other person to analyze their own behavior to find a fault that doesn't exist. They begin to overcorrect, working harder to please you, effectively conditioning themselves to be more submissive. It is a silent, invisible leash that transforms a partner or peer into a seeker, constantly looking to fill the silence you've created. To maintain this grip, one must master the future fling or overpromising. This involves painting a vivid, emotionally charged picture of a future that fulfills the target's deepest insecurities. By promising a level of loyalty, success, or intimacy that seems almost too good to be true, you bypass their logical filters. The human brain is wired to prioritize hope over evidence. Even when the promises fail to materialize, the target will often stay, not because of what you are doing now, but because they are waiting for the gold you promised them yesterday. It creates a sunk cost fallacy where they feel they have invested too much emotional capital to walk away now. However, total lies are easily spotted. The sophisticated operator uses selective honesty. By revealing a vulnerable secret, something that seems raw but doesn't actually put you at risk, you build a false bridge of trust. This is tactical transparency. When you tell a small, painful truth, it acts as a cloaking device for 1,000 larger deceptions. The target feels they have seen your true self, which makes them lower their defenses. In educational terms, this is the exploitation of the reciprocity norm. Because you opened up, they feel a psychological obligation to trust you implicitly, leaving them wide open for deeper behavioral steering. Finally, to cement this transformation, you apply flattery overload, but with a twist. It isn't about generic compliments, it's about identity labeling. By telling someone they are the only one who truly understands, or the most intuitive person you've ever met, you are actually building a cage made of gold. People will go to extreme lengths to maintain an identity that someone they admire has given them. If they believe they are your protector or your intellectual equal, they will ignore your red flags just to keep that title. You aren't just praising them, you are assigning them a role in your script, and most people are so desperate for a sense of purpose that they will play that role until they break. Understanding these maneuvers is the ultimate form of self-protection. When you recognize that warmth is being used as a currency or that honesty is being used as a shield, the spell is broken. Human behavior is a series of patterns, and once you see the blueprint, you can no longer be trapped within the house. True growth comes from the realization that the most dangerous weapon in the world isn't a blade or a bullet, it's the unspoken word and the calculated absence of a smile. Stay vigilant, because the mind you save will be your own. The most terrifying thing about a mask isn't the face it hides, but the fact that after enough time, the person wearing it forgets they ever had a real face at all. Don't let their performance become your reality.